just like lost, and I don't know if the nurses didn't realize, or they thought, oh, they're easier to deal with when they're hammered or something like that. But I was there for 2 days, and they were planning this big Halloween party with all this booze and stuff, and I'm like, oh God, I don't want to be around drunk tonight, hey? So I escaped. I was supposed to stay there for 30 days. It wasn't because I was taken in there by the police, I guess, so that you have to stay there for 30 days. But I escaped. Hey, I just walked away. And since then, I've never been back there, never, probably people have tried to get me back there, but never happened. I just escaped again. Are you still there, Jamil?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm here. I was just listening.
Yeah. I have you on speakerphone, so just, some people say that they can't hear me very well, so I hope that, if you can't hear me very well, I'll put you back on, I don't like to hold my cell phone close to my head for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it was funny. I escaped, and then they had me down as a missing person. So yeah, just weird things, hey. And then when I was in the back of the police car, I was reading, and everything was all bullshit. What they had written about me, that I'm a drug user, and I take ketamine, but meanwhile I was telling them I was drugged with ketamine, right? And that I'm mentally ill and dangerous and all this stuff, and the cops kept trying to turn the computer screen away from me, and I was still looking, and yeah, it is fun to play games with them, and I think now that I'm talking to a few more people like you, and looking at the videos where other people have actually turned around and confronted these people, I'm feeling brave enough that I can do that now, I think,
Yeah, well, that's why I was commenting earlier when we were speaking the other night, or I think it was the other night. I was saying one of the first things is, talking to the people about you being gang stalked. Whether it's the guy who runs the building, or it's somebody that you're approaching on the street, or is approaching you on the street, just to speak your own voice, that'll help you. It's spiritual too. It'll help you clear your throat chakra. And
absolutely.
Right.
And create awareness about it. And yeah, absolutely. We definitely need to start talking, and I guess maybe I had to ignore it just to survive there for a while. But now that I know that I have some support, and that I can talk to other people, and they're not going to think that I'm nuts, that, make a game out of it, play the game.
Oh yeah. It's one of the biggest frustrating things I think for people who get gang stalked is, and you can probably feel this too. There's no limit to the people who are going to be following you with red shirts and doing these different sorts of assignments to you.
Yeah.
So it's a great energy, distraction, because there's constantly an influx of all these people involved with these assignments, and so that's one of the reasons why being vocal and telling people that you're being gang stalked what's going on, because they're never going to run out of, it's not just a small group of people. There's a small group of people that are more intimate with your group stalking. There's a very small amount of people who know specifically that this is meant to basically try to psychologically damage you, or electronic weapons, you being covertly drugged. That's not a big group that knows about the intimate details of you being personally targeted and stalked. There's a much larger group of people who, many of them don't even know what gang stalking is. They're being told something completely different, and they're out there following you around, doing these little assignments on you, participating in the mimicking, the street theater. Those are the people that are most interested. Those are the people that would benefit you the most to approach and talk to. you know.
Right,
And,
exactly, because they're told things like, oh, carry this little monitor around, and we're going to direct you to follow this person because we want to see what her buying habits are, or something like that. That's what they're told, hey?
yeah, yeah. And so, right, so that's what I always tell people. A lot of people get it mixed up, and they think that all these people, you know, these dozens and dozens are hundreds of people that they come across within, you know, weeks or months are involved in they're all the same people involved in some sort of cult. It doesn't work that way. These people are approached through app technology, approached through coworkers, approached through friends, and told basically, hey, you know, this is why we want you to do. So they don't know what gang stalking is. They just know they're getting paid a few dollars, or they're getting a gas card or some sort of benefit, or somehow they're a part of something special or important. Yada yada. It's the same story over and over again. And they're
doing a good thing, like the community watch. Oh, this person's selling drugs or something like that. They think that they're doing a good thing by, you know, the wolf in sheep's clothing, I have discovered, is so often, you know, when things are too good to be true, when people are too nice to you, watch out.
Yeah, and so it's an awful situation that the average person's going through, is being gang stalked. But so creating that communication line, like once I started being more vocal and talking to the people around me and asking them questions, a lot of them opened up to me and told me a little bit more about it. And so I stopped associating them as being intimate with gang stalking. I started seeing from their perspective how it's easy for them to get a prepaid credit card. It's easy for them to do this. And then, again, if you're more interested in somebody, like, again, if there's, especially with women, I've noticed, then the people will come in on foot. Certain individuals will come in and speak to the person more directly and get them to give them more details and try to condition the person to do more extra stuff against me, you know. And right, and it's insane. And I've been out walking a couple times. This is a long time ago, and I've seen how from time to time some of the people who are more involved in that, they'll come out and walk by me and want to get a good look at me. Me too. Mm-hmm. They want to do an energy reading of you. They want to see how strong you are. They want to get a perception of how they can try to mess with your life and damage you. They want to get a good energy aura reading of you. And most of the time, by looking at them, I can tell that these people are involved in, they may be involved in more like occult science type stuff. Their only true interest is to mess with the individual's mind, to see how can we mess this person's mind up. How can we create them a state of panic? How can we create a state of paranoia? That's the only thing they're interested in. And I've seen it walk up to me and look at me and do it. And I knew they weren't an average person gang stalking me. I could tell by the way they were looking at me. And this happened three times. It's probably happened way more than that. I just wasn't paying attention. But it's been about 3 times. I could tell by looking at the individuals. They knew exactly what I was. They knew exactly what I was going through. They were watching me from a peripheral view, and
when someone looks you directly in the face,
right,
for a few seconds, and that happens to me all the time, that's more than just a quick glance, you know. And like you say, they're studying you, and they're looking at your face, and just the gaze lasts for like 5 seconds or so, right? And I think that's why I learned to just ignore people, not even look at people. But you can, out of the corner of your eye, you're being surrounded in a store by people, and then immediately I'll just move to another section. And it's so funny, almost every store, maybe not every store, but the bigger stores especially I go into, I go into a lot of like health food stores and like that. There's not a lot of people that come in there, but I'll be the only one coming in, and then all of a sudden there's 20 people there, and then all of a sudden they're gone again. It's so funny. And that would be a good opportunity to say something like, wow, there is a kind of a rush of people. Does that happen too much or too often, or to the store clerk or owner or whatever, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Have you had any like strange dreams that you think are connected to the?
I have, and it has mostly to do with my family. So that could be some things, but I hardly ever remember my dreams anymore. Just a very odd one, and it always has to do with my family and how afraid I am that they're going to kill me, and almost all my dreams have to do with my family and them trying to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's deep. I've never experienced. I was watching a clip of Jesse Ventura, and he was interviewing a CIA man, and the guy was saying the CIA man put it on blast. He was saying basically, there's weapons called God Voice or V2K or whatever that can send messages to people's minds, and it's real and it's going on. And he was saying they were basically torturing the people. I never experienced the V2K. But based on all the stories I've heard from numerous people who said it's happened to them, and based on things like that, like basically insiders coming out and saying it's real, I mean, how much more, if people want proof, like how much more proof do you need? Like you actually got the people on national television saying it's real. And so, right, and so for me, it just things like that just go to, this stuff's real. But I have had strange dreams that seemed beyond my own dreaming capabilities, if that makes sense. And I don't know if there is a such thing where, they can make people hear voices. I mean, I guess it's possible there could be some sort of way to interfere with a person's, brain waves while they're asleep and attempt to manipulate them. I'm trying to put it into perspective to where it makes sense, but I do believe that technology may exist.
Well, you know what I've come to the conclusion, Jamil, and this is really interesting what you just told me, is, how people have different learning styles. It's auditory, it's more, some person's more of a visual, some person's more of a feeling, and there's like 4 different styles, right?
Kinesthetic, they got to touch.
Exactly, yeah. Right. What I have come to the conclusion, I'm a visionary, like I'm more of a visual person, so I see flashes of light. I see things out of the corner, like I'll see like a yellow beam of light or a flash on the wall, hey? And then I find people who have more of the auditory learning, they are the ones that get the V2K, the voice to skull. And then you, since you're noticing these dreams, you're probably more of the, like the feeling type, that you can feel the energy maybe, or that's what I've really kind of concluded, was that they, or it's much easier for them to, well, say if like someone's predominantly like in the throat chakra, right, using their throat chakra, they're probably getting the V2K. And your third eye is wide open, and you know how to use that. So, and that's where the dream state is, right? So, they're using that on you, and or not. I'm talking about me with my third eye, but your crown is open because you've researched so much of this esoteric stuff, and so that's what I think, that they are kind of looking at which chakra center you're strongest in, and using that to harass, or with the voice and the visions.
You know what? That makes perfect sense, what you just said about they target people based on their own learning abilities and whatnot. And I found that visually, like I'm very strong in learning visually. Like I can just watch people and watch things, and I just get information I can absorb a lot of information out of seeing things, you know, and
yeah, you got the higher chakras opened, or you probably have them all open, but you were stronger in those areas, and yeah, that's what I found, you know. Yeah.